Yeah, we're waiting to see. I guess the correct term at this hour is bidding war. San Francisco Giants, Toronto Blue Jays, bidding war for Corbin Burns. The Orioles are not going to sign him. Orioles refuse to go 7 years on any pitcher. Is Buster Posey going to do this? Will Toronto, which is desperate to do something to revitalize Blue Jay baseball in Canada, are the Blue Jays going to overpay? The price tag is 7 years, $210 million. $30 million per season for an established frontline pitcher is okay, Corbin Burns. But the problem is 7 years. That's an awful long time to give a pitcher because pitchers have a tendency to break down. So we'll wait to see where that happens. Houston Astros, they thought they had a deal to get Nolan Arenado on Wednesday night. Arenado invoked the no-trade clause. I'm not going to Texas. It's a big setback because I think Houston must be facing some reality that they're not going to re-sign Alex Bregman. I mean, Bregman's got to be the next free agent that's coming off the board, but where? And they must have thought that they could have this deal. Evidently, there's an argument also that has ensued that Houston wanted St. Louis to pick up a pile of the $54 million that is owed Arenado on the final 2 years of the contract, and that's kind of become an arguing point. Orioles, they win the battle to get a frontline starting pitcher. Now, there's a little bit of a question mark here. His name is Tomoyuki Sugano, Japan. 15-3 last season. Orioles signed him to a one-year deal at $15 million. Baltimore is willing to pay the going rate on a salary, but was not willing to go 5 years on anybody, any pitcher that is. But they signed Sugano. They outbid your Giants. They outbid the Mets and some other people. Sugano goes to Baltimore. He's a two-time Cy Young Award winner. Like I said, 35 years old. He's 15-3, 1.67. I mean, he's had a really good career. He's not a fireballer. He's a crafty guy, etc. But Baltimore gets him on a one-year deal. Other topic, done deal, Tampa Bay. We have talked last couple of weeks about the crisis, Tropicana Field, the hurricanes. We talked about St. Petersburg City Council, Pinellas County's commissioners saying maybe we shouldn't fund our share of the stadium. We talked about Tampa Bay up in arms saying if you don't fund this, you violated the agreement. That means we can look to go somewhere else. And the commissioner intervened. They got the deal done. On Wednesday afternoon, the Pinellas County commissioners approved their share of the funding for a new baseball stadium. That came a week after the city of St. Petersburg approved their funding. Tampa Bay's ownership is also going to put in $1.1 million of their money. So the whole stadium concept now looks like it's rock solid. That this, actually, it's $1.1 billion that Tampa's paying.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, $1.1 billion. The Rays are going to pay. The other entities are paying like $317 million for their share for infrastructure. So it looks like the Rays are solid and they're going to stay, though they got to play outdoors probably. No resolution on what the hell's going to happen at Tropicana Field, repair of the roof, and whether that's going to happen at all. There may be an outdoor stadium for 3 years in the heat and humidity and the rain in Tampa Bay for the Rays, but the new stadium is now online. Go forward, turn the shovel of dirt. Let's get this thing going. So that's really good news in Major League Baseball there. John?
We were talking about the stadium in Tampa and how they had all these major infrastructure problems from the hurricanes that went through there. So are they just piling on with this, or are they going to be a tax increase on people, or how is this being funded, and how can they take care of infrastructure at the same time?
It's being funded. The new stadium is being funded from a hotel, motel, bed tax. So average citizen in St. Petersburg, your relatives don't have to pay. It'll be the visitors who will pay. And it's kind of a quaint way to get somebody from the outside because they never look at the additional tax at the bottom of their hotel rooms. That's how it's going to be funded.
Taxation without representation.
Yes.
I remember one time my family we went into Arizona and went and did all the spring training stuff and rented a car.
Yeah.
They have like spring training fees as line items in your auto rental car receipt. And I'm like, it's insane. And they just zing the transit occupancy tax.
Yes, that's what they call it. And it's monstrously big. I mean, I swear to you, the tax on car rentals in Arizona is higher than the actual day-to-day rentals.
Oh, it's just brutal. I mean, I couldn't believe it because they don't advertise that. They advertise the lower price, and you get the bill, and you're like, what the hell? Sugano with the Orioles, wasn't he the guy that we were thinking might have gone to the Angels?
Angels were interested. Giants, they thought they had an inside track, and he went to Baltimore. Now, maybe I don't know if people were scared by 15 million per because he's an older guy who doesn't have velocity, or whether maybe his asking price for the Angels and these other teams might have been 3 years, and maybe they backed away and didn't want to go 3 years on a 35-year-old pitcher. So we'll find out how good he is, but he becomes the veteran starter, which means to me the Orioles have waved the white flag on Corbin Burns. So, Giant fan in absentia, would you rather have Corbin Burns or Sagano in San Francisco?
Well, of course, Burns. I mean,
That's 7 years.
Yeah, that's the stretch, but he's a Boris client, right?
Yes.
So he's going to get 7. You watch it. That's what's going to happen.
All things baseball. You got an opinion, feel free. That's why we put topics on the table so you can respond to the specific items that we are talking about. We're not done talking baseball. Next,